Hello, fight fans. Welcome back to MMA Action Hub. Justin Gaethje reflects on Holloway loss. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to help support the channel. Justin Gaethje recently watched his fight against Max Holloway in full for the first time. He admitted that he fought well despite the loss, acknowledging his performance. Gaethje pointed out that he did stop Holloway with only 10 seconds left in the fight. He seemed to take pride in his effort, recognizing the intensity of the battle.
There's been some comments you made recently that have caught a lot of attention about maybe sort of going back, not completely the whole way, but a little bit back towards the World Series of fighting style you used to have.
Yeah, I just think the aggressive mentality. I think I just watched the Max fight today for the first time, and I think I fought really well. You know, it's just he was so great that fought really well that night. And but even if I go back to that guy, I'm still a much more refined athlete, in my skills. And I think with that aggressive style and my skills being much more refined and much more accurate, that's a dangerous combination.
What makes you rewatch it today?
I just figured it was about time.
Obviously, the ending the way that it was, I can imagine some guys would think on their fight week, oh, I don't want to see that and put that in my mind. What is it about you that makes you think?
Well, to be fair, I did stop it with 10 seconds left.
Okay.
I've seen that part plenty of times.
Magomed Ankalaev addressed Alex Periera's comments about Ramadan, suggesting they were unnecessary. He emphasized that fasting wouldn't affect his preparation, joking that Periera could even take his UFC-provided meals if he wanted. Ankalaev believes Periera is only making things harder for himself at UFC 313. The light heavyweight contender seems fully focused on the fight ahead.
Alex Periera today went on record saying that he saw in the hotel that there was food delivered for you to eat, which means that you do not fast. As you said, that you're not going according to what Ramadan's supposed to be. So what can you say about that?
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously really worried about me and what I'm doing, and he seems to be nervous, so he's following all these things. And I mean, what can I say? I'll tell you again, I had to break the fast a couple times because there's something that I need to do in order to make the weight and in order to be prepared. So he seems to be way too concerned with that. I mean, even if he goes to a fridge right now and he opens the food and he'll see that there's food with my name on it, the UFC food that was given to me. If he wants, he can take it.
Last couple of days, Alex Periera has taken offense at words you said about alcohol use, and he suggested that maybe you're using Ramadan as an excuse. Do those comments maybe put this fight in a different ray of light for you?
Yeah, we weren't trying to make it personal or anything. We were just saying maybe we were worried about him, that he's kind of all over the place, all of these different UFC events and stuff like that. Maybe he should have taken it as us being worried about, him spending time doing something rather than being prepared for the fight. But whichever way he took it, it's up to him. It's not going to help and we'll make it.
Alex Periera made it clear that he doesn't want to discuss religious matters. Instead, he shifted the focus back to his earlier $200,000 challenge to Ankalaev. Periera remains confident in his abilities and seems more interested in financial bets than debates. The former middleweight champion is locked in on proving his dominance at light heavyweight.
Last few weeks, I feel like it's gotten a little heated, especially online.
Nunca falei de religião.
Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about religion. Whatever religion I respect, I have a lot of respect for that. But he came and said that he couldn't take the bet, but was not even a bet about money for me to go and put money in my pocket. It was for us to do a good cause and donate for charity. And then he goes and talk about alcoholism. You know what I mean? I'm a champion in life. I overcame alcoholism, but there's a lot of people that did in the end. Their family struggle with it, not only the person. And so, he used religion for a certain purpose, but I'm not here to talk about nobody's religion. I respect them all.
Justin Gaethje is excited about Llia Topuria's potential move to lightweight. He believes Topuria's arrival makes the already thrilling division even more competitive. Gaethje welcomed the challenge, hinting at exciting future matchups. The 155-pound division continues to be the most action-packed in the sport.
What are your thoughts on Llia Topuria vacating the featherweight title and coming up to lightweight? Do you think he's built for lightweight?
Yeah, I think he's a fighter, especially with the confidence that he has right now with those wins over Max and Volkanovski. I think, confidence is the biggest factor when you step in there. You have to believe. in yourself first and foremost. And so, yeah, I think just made the most exciting weight class in this sport a little bit more exciting.
Do you obviously, if you go out there and finish Fizzy, there's a good chance that you get the title shot, but do you believe Llia should get a automatic title shot against Islam?
I don't know. Haven't thought about it. It doesn't matter. Again, that's one of the things I can't control, so I'm not going to put a lot of thought and energy into that.
UFC President Dana White suggested that if Alex Periera defeats Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313, he might become the top pound-for-pound fighter. White acknowledges Periera's dominance and rapid rise in the UFC. A victory over Ankalaev would solidify Periera's legacy across multiple weight classes. The stakes for UFC 313 just got even higher.
Can you talk about how dangerous Alex Periera is?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest stars in the sport right now, if not the biggest star in the sport. And what makes this weekend great is Ankalaev is a very serious threat to him. It's probably the toughest fight he's ever had. His team always talks about his takedown defense and that, the fans don't really know how good it is. We're going to find out how good it is this weekend. This is a tough fight for Alex. Alex comes out of this the way he's come out of every other fight. He's he might be the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
We talk so much about great fighters, and we know there's a lot of them in the UFC, and mad respect to all of them because it takes a hell of a lot of courage to even get in the octagon. Major respect. But when we talk box office, I think about Periera, and I think about a handful of names. Talk to me about who you look at when you think about your product and uplifting the sport even more so than you already have. What names come to your mind in terms of you walk into the arena, you want to see this person?
Yeah, I mean, Alex is that guy for us right now. The thing that people love about Alex is obviously his fighting style. Yeah. He tries to knock your head off. People love that. And this guy, he was on vacation in Australia, and a fight fell out. We needed him. He literally left vacation and came and fought. This guy will literally fight anybody, anywhere, anytime he comes in. He's pure violence, tries to knock you out, doesn't duck anybody, has moved up a weight class, is willing to move up to heavyweight and fight whoever. I mean, this.
Well, when you say whoever, the name that comes to people's mind is John Bones Jones.
Right, I agree. He's willing to fight him. He's willing to fight anybody right now.
Is Jones willing to fight Periera?
Jones will fight anybody too.
Okay.
Do you know?
I know he's not scared of anybody. He's the greatest ever. No, he's the greatest ever. I'm talking about does he want to do it? Because we know he can beat anybody. Does he want to do it?
He does want to do it.
Alex Periera recently gifted a trophy to his mentor and coach, Glover Teixeira. Periera expressed deep gratitude for everything Teixeira has done for him since his move to the U.S. The two fighters share a strong bond, with Teixeira playing a key role in Periera's UFC success. This moment showcased Periera's loyalty and respect for his longtime coach.
Caralho, ganhou o Oscar. Pô, ganhou o Oscar.
A Evelyn me deu só pra entregar e falou pra quem que eu ia dedicar esse troféu. Aí eu falei, Glover.
Porra, aí, ó. Porra, agora eu me emociono.
Já falei, né? Toda a dedicação, né? Teve comigo desde quando o primeiro dia aqui, quando eu cheguei aqui nos Estados Unidos, né? Todo o suporte que você me deu, né? Porra, todo o suporte que você me deu, né? Pô, eu nunca vou esquecer e, pô, sou muito grato, entendeu? Tipo, tá difícil pra falar, entendeu?
Eu tô ligado.
Mas é isso, não vou ficar falando não.
Pô, assim eu não vou chorar, cara. Não, mas bicho, todo mundo aqui, velho. Você, igual eu sempre falo, sua vibe.
You Plínio.
Irmão, chega aí, Plínio. Não, cara, não tem como, nem tem ciúme. Como ele trata todo mundo igual todo mundo. O Poitin é aquele cara que não tem assim. Eu e o Plínio, o pessoal fala e fala assim: pô, Globo, você não tem ciúme do Plínio, não? Plínio, cara, o Poitin não tem como, cara, porque ele tem uma energia que ele tem. É todo mundo, velho. Todo mundo é Cauê.
Catalisador.
Ele chega assim, você vê que o Cauê tá parado. E aí, Cauê, tudo bem? Tá tranquilo? O Cauêzão você vê que eu tô calado. É todo mundo, velho. Você.
Pô, tô cara, brother.
Dana White confirmed that Jon Jones will return to the octagon this summer. The UFC president also announced that Jones's next fight will be against Tom Aspinall. Fans have been eagerly waiting for Jones's return, and a showdown with Aspinall promises fireworks. The heavyweight division is about to get even more interesting.
Jones will fight anybody, too.
Okay.
Do you know?
I know he's not scared of anybody. He's the greatest ever. No, he's the greatest ever. I'm talking about does he want to do it? You know, because we know he could beat anybody. Does he want to do it?
He does want to do it.
I think best sporting event I went to this year, well, technically 2024, was in November at the Garden for Jon Jones' fight. When do you think we would potentially see him back?
This summer.
Okay.
Llia Topuria's manager revealed that the featherweight champion is considering a permanent move to 155. He highlighted the extreme weight cut, noting that shedding nearly 50 pounds is unsustainable. The team is confident that Islam Makhachev would accept a fight with Topuria at lightweight. If this happens, it could set up one of the biggest fights in UFC history.
What is going on with Ilia Topuria? 2 weeks ago, we find out he's no longer the featherweight champion and he's moving up to 155. And then we all assume it's going to be against Islam. But then Dana White says, it may not be against Islam. We haven't heard anything new since. You're his guy. I remember your brother calling me and you calling me up saying, we got the guy. We got the next Conor. We got the guy from Spain. I remember this before he even came into the UFC. And so tell me, what is happening?
Well, I still think that he's the next guy. I think he is the next Conor. I think
he's there.
You know what I mean? That's kind of part of what he's doing. You come into the UFC, you get to a title fight within 6 fights. You go beat arguably the greatest featherweight to ever fight at featherweight. And then by the way, all respect to Volkanovski because he was a hell of a champion and he went up and fought at 155. And Ilya challenged him, knocked him out. No one at 45 had ever done that to him, if I'm not mistaken. Then you go fight Max Holloway, who no one's ever done that to him, ever, right? Ever, no matter who it is, at any weight class, never knocked him out, or even, I think, am I right when I say not even,
yes,
didn't even knock him down? Is that accurate? No one ever knocked Max out? Okay. So then he knocks him out. And the truth is that the weight cut is hard for him. And it was, look, when you've been in this business for as long as we've been in it, right, you kind of learn certain things. And the longevity of fighters, especially at the highest level, when you talk about being a champion, you're talking about a guy who has to fight the Volkanovskis, the Charleses, the Oliveira, the Islams, the Maxes. You're talking about fighting the best guys in the world. So if you're cutting all that weight, and what you're basically also doing is taking years off your fighting life. And so this guy's looking at longevity. He's looking at the fact that it's almost a 50-pound cut every time. It's time to move up to 155. I'm confident that Islam will accept it. I'm confident that we'll be fighting for that belt, but it's really not on us. It's on them. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where we're at with it, if that makes sense.
Is it up to Islam at this point? Meaning, does the UFC agree with him fighting for the belt in his first fight at 155 now?
I mean, look, let me ask you this question. You've known me now for 20. I've been in this for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Do you really think that we make moves without trying to you know me? Yeah. I'm trying to be ahead of it when it's time to do something, and we don't just jump from here to there without having the conversations and certain things. So no one told us that we couldn't fight for the title.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, no one has said that you're not fighting for the title. So that I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there out of respect to everybody else on the other side and what they're trying to do or not do. You know what I mean? But nothing has been said. No one's told me, no, this is not happening. Let me just put it to you like that.
Got it. Okay? Yeah, well, I said there's... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's no chance Ilia Topuria is vacating his belt without a title fight in his next fight.
Well, I don't know if it even makes sense for them as a promotion to allow him to fight anybody else when he's a champion. And if we're being honest, this is probably the biggest fight you can make right now outside of Bones versus Aspinall. So I don't know if there's another fight out there that's bigger than this fight, unless there's something that I'm not aware of. Errol, you'd know better than me.
Khalil Rountree believes Alex Periera has the skills to handle Magomed Ankalaev's wrestling. He is confident that Periera will win their fight at UFC 313. Rountree sees Pereira's striking and takedown defense as enough to secure victory. With high-level support, Pereira's chances are looking stronger.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, neither one of you guys attempted one takedown in that fight, Khalil. So now what happens when you get somebody that can mix it, like a guy like Ankalaev? How do you see that fight going?
Based off of the film that I watch and like even seeing like the type of training that Alex does, I don't think that he's a one-trick pony. I think that he's really good at what he does. For me, going in there and just striking with him, I don't think that it helped his case for pound. Doesn't mean that I don't think he can handle it. Like, I really think that he'll be able to handle pressure from a wrestler like Ankalaev. I mean, I get what you're saying. I think I would still take Alex in that.
Israel Adesanya is confident that Alex Periera will knock out Magomed Ankalaev. He believes the knockout will come in the 4th or 5th round. Adesanya has first-hand experience with Pereira's power and precision. If his prediction is right, Periera could cement himself as a 2-division legend.
He's going to shoot because he's going to get tagged on the legs and, again, could get clocked in the face. If you say Magomed has good straight shots, that's something that Alex has to watch out for, and he switches a lot. Southpaw will be his best stance for Magomed, but I think, like I said, Alex has also started, I've seen in his last fight with Khalil, his low left kick. The teep as well. And the teep fucking increased, but his low left kick as well as catching people. So it's not just easy like you go southpaw and you get away with it anymore. Maybe I'm banking too much on the leg kicks. I have experience with it. I know how painful it is and how effective it is. Regardless, I'm gonna go Periera because momentum. He is just on a tear right now. But Ankalaev, speed, well, he'll have to catch Alex when he made a mistake. So counters, if he catches him on a counter, it could be a dangerous night. But I just think this is gonna go leg kicks, leg kicks, leg kicks, left hook. Alex Periera by, I'm gonna go KO. It's just, yeah.
Under 2.5 rounds or over 2.5 rounds?
I'll go over 2.5 rounds, like 4 or 5. He's gonna knock him out in the 4th or 5th round.